This is The Professionals, a podcast by music business technology and broadcast media technology students on Outcast OCCR Owens Community College Radio. In this series, students will interview industry professionals in their respective fields to help gather an idea of what it's like to work in their industry.
My name is Eric Bragg and I'm your host. With me today is Anthony Wright, a videographer, film director, and the proud owner of Anthony Wright Films out of Toledo, Ohio. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Let's get right to it. When was the moment you knew that you wanted to have a career in video production?
So when I was a kid, I went to my buddy's birthday party, and they had the birthday party at the movie theater, and the movie we saw was Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And that inspired me basically to pick up my family's VHS camera and then start making these like backyard goofy lightsaber battles. And my friends and I just had such a blast doing that. And then basically from there, things snowballed.
What higher education have you pursued to help meet your career goals in the media industry?
So there's a lot of content that I follow, but there's one person who's been a great teacher, Parker Walbeck. He is basically an entrepreneur, a videographer, and then a teacher. He has his course called Full-Time Filmmaker, which is on YouTube, and a lot of the content he posts is for free. And then he also has like his private film school. So I've been following a lot of his work recently, and that's basically been helpful in how I've been shaping my business. So he is definitely a fantastic entrepreneur. 10 out of 10 would recommend looking him up.
How long have you worked as a videographer and filmmaker?
So since I was about 10, I started making like these backyard action movies with my family's VHS camera, as I mentioned. And from there, things just grew. In 2014, I started shooting video professionally. It was a week before college started, and my buddy reached out to me and he said, the University of Toledo's football team, they have a video staff, and then what they do is they shoot coaches' film for games and practices, and they had an open spot, and my buddy said, hey, there's an open spot, do you want to take this? And I instantly said yeah. It was a lot of fun. I did that all throughout college, and it was such a blast. I remember going to the Bahamas, going to Utah, going to Alabama, and missing the bus the day of. It's a story for a different day, but it was definitely one of the coolest experiences I could ask for.
When did you decide to create the production company Anthony Wright Films?
So throughout college, like outside of the football team work I did, I shot a lot of musicals for schools. I shot promotional content for Bowling Green's dance marathon. And I also shot, I believe it was UT's international sales competition. Those were some side projects I did. And then right after college, I decided to go full-time. I wanted to take the big leap of faith and work on my business full-time. So right after college, I started shooting a lot more weddings, a lot more promotional content for schools and businesses, and so many other cool projects. And it's been such an exciting experience.
What steps have you taken to gain clients while working as a filmmaker and wedding videographer?
So repetition has played a major key in my success the past few years. When I first started making videos, there were some stinkers early on. And basically what I've been able to do is identify the mistakes and then carry my knowledge and how to improve my videos into the next project. That's basically what I've been doing. So just basically from there, it's been just write, shoot, edit, repeat. And from there, things have really grown.
What skills do you find important to be successful in the media industry?
So you always have to be a pleasure to work with. If you're fantastic at what you do, but you're a big pain in the butt to work with, if you have a big ego, you're really not going to go very far. But if you're just easy to work with, easygoing, that'll go a really long way. And then from there, people will recommend you and so forth and so forth.
What have you done to help develop your skills as a filmmaker and a writer?
Repetition has played a major key. It's awesome to send my work to other people and then they give me feedback and they could say, hey, I really love that you did this, but if I were you, I would do this, and this differently for next time. And it's just building like a fantastic network of friends and associates. It's really gone a long way.
Are there any film directors that inspired you to follow in their footsteps?
Absolutely. Vince Gilligan, He directed Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or episodes of Better Call Saul, and El Camino. He's probably one of my favorite storytellers in the industry right now. He knows how to hook you immediately with whatever he does, and I definitely have to tip my hat to him.
What is your favorite film that you've written and directed, and what is it about?
So I would say it's a tie between my two feature films, Renegade and Monarch, definitely. Those were both, I made Renegade right after college, and it was more of a slapstick comedy. It was about a redneck who's trying to go after this evil company that's tearing down the woods, and that was so much fun to make. I remember making it with a bunch of my college friends, and I remember I couldn't really pay anyone, so I would just give people like beer and whatnot for just a big thank you for helping, and that was definitely a really fun experience. And I casted a bunch of my friends in that as well, and we just had such a blast making that. And Monarch, my second favorite film, is a time travel drama about a young man trying to prevent the death of his wife, which is, it's still making its film festival run right now. That was definitely an exciting experience, and it's just been so much fun. It was a lot of challenging making Monarch because we shot a good majority of it during COVID 2020, and that was definitely filled with surprises. So we had a lot of there were obstacles obviously, but it was definitely a great learning experience.
Where do you come up with the ideas for your film, and how long does it usually take to produce them?
That's a good question. So I'm a big fan of like comedy films, sci-fi films, all sorts of content. One of my favorite writers is Stephen King. And what I've been able to do on the writing front is I basically catch up on like how he makes the stories, like how he comes up with ideas. So it really varies for each project, I would say. It's definitely different.
What do you see happening in your future? Do you have any long-term goals as a filmmaker?
I want to keep on creating amazing content, whether it be wedding films, promotional content for schools or businesses, music videos, and independent films. I would love to get into much larger festivals at some point, including Sundance. I think that would be something that would be incredible.
What advice do you have for independent filmmakers trying to create connections with other media professionals?
You gotta be willing to work when no one else is willing to work. I usually work on Saturdays, or even before I graduated college, a lot of my Saturdays were dedicated towards filming for UT's football team. And you got to be willing to work when everyone else is partying. I remember like most of my college Saturdays, a big group of my friends were out partying at bars or tailgates and whatnot. And you just got to look at the big picture and try and block that out and go for the gold.
Is football your favorite sport to shoot?
I would say so. That was definitely a lot of fun. Yeah. It was incredibly exciting. I remember going to the MAC championship in 2017, and that was just such a cool experience. It was a lot of fun. And then even the year after, going to the Bahamas, that was just absolutely surreal. Definitely a lot of fun.
Are there any other sports that you spend time videographing?
I would say basketball is really cool too. I had a lot of fun shooting basketball in college. I remember working for ESPN3 for a class, and it was so much fun. I remember shooting like the flex cam, the kiss cam, and then shooting game highlights. It was just such a fun atmosphere.
What kinds of courses do you recommend students pursuing a degree in a media-based program take to help prepare them for jobs after graduation?
As mentioned before, a person to look up on YouTube is Parker Welbeck. He does an amazing job not only instructing you how to make higher quality content, but also how to elevate your business. So and he posts a lot of his content to YouTube too for free. So it's like you don't even have to pay for it. You could just get a feel for what he does, and if you want to make the next leap to purchase his course, you can go right ahead and do that. It's very affordable, and every penny is worth it.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for tuning in. A huge thank you to Anthony Wright for coming in to be interviewed today. On behalf of my audio engineer, Maggie Spitler, I'm Eric Bragg, and this has been the Media Industry Professional Podcast.
This has been the Professionals Podcast by Music Business Technology and Broadcast Media Technology students. Join us next time on Outcast OCCR Owens Community College Radio.